The views expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
All right, here we go.
If you're trying to find a way up out of the hole,
This is the place.
have a laugh and save your soul.
Well, this is the place.
Don't have to pledge allegiance or stand in line. No ticket to buy, no paper to sign. You found it.
That's right.
This is the place.
That's right, my friends. You have found it. You've tuned in to Take 12 Recovery Radio, the world's original recovery talk and positive music radio program. Today on the show, a brand new co-host, Mr. Anthony P. will be sharing his experience, strength, and hope on the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show.
Just don't drink. Walk the walk if you're ready. This is the place. This is the place where I wear no mask.
Uh-oh.
I am who I am, not part of the past. Get a little taste of saving grace. Hook up
Welcome.
to the human race. Come on in.
Come on in, my friends.
This is the place.
This is the place. KHLT Recovery Broadcasting and the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show, broadcasting to you and for you from the outskirts of beautiful downtown Albany, Oregon, here in the Pacific Northwest. The world's oldest and original recovery talk and positive music radio station, broadcasting to you and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On the show this week is not only my good friend, but he happens to be my godson as well. See, we're keeping it in the family, Denver.
Aw.
Yeah. Anthony P. is with us. We have, in fact, you're going to get to see him if you're on YouTube. There he is, right there, sitting next to Denver. Wave, Anthony. That's Anthony. And we're welcoming aboard as our brand new co-host. Marv and Margie are enjoying life in Klamath Falls, Oregon.
They are. I saw a post from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They
having a
look
good
nice.
time up there.
Yeah.
I guess it's snowing up there right now, right?
Ugh.
Probably. I saw snow on them there hills over there in
Yeah.
yonder town.
Yeah.
I don't like the snow.
I like snow when it's not messy.
I like them on postcards.
Yes.
I like this. I like the snow that you go and you play in,
Right.
And then you go home where there's no snow.
Yeah. Where it's
Yeah,
warm
yeah.
and nice.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very, very cool. And so we wish them well. We were calculating it out. Marv had been with us about 8 years, and Margie a little over a year, and then they got hitched. See what happens?
Oh,
Yeah.
something happened.
Yeah, they got hitched and moved to Klamath Falls. So there you go. And so we welcome Anthony. It's good to have you here, man.
Thank you. I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's very cool. It's a long time coming. Should have been here a long time ago. But never late than never late. Never
God's
never-
timing.
Yeah.
never late than
God's
never.
timing.
Never.
God's timing. Never. How's that go? Never. I don't know. I'm confused. We are
Better late than never.
better late than never. That's right.
All right.
And by the way, this is KHLT Recovery Broadcasting and the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show, home of Cecil the Golden Gnome. There he is, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Cecil the Golden Gnome. Yep. Yeah, there he is. And as is common, we start out our shows. Usually Cecil has something to say about something.
Stop right there!
Uh-oh.
Because it's time for the Monty Man's Weekly Whine, where he whimpers and whines and complains about things he has no power over.
It's all right. You're safe now.
Thank you, Cecil. I'm not happy. This is the Monty
This
Man's
is
Weekly
going to be a
Wine.
wine, isn't it?
Yeah. So you know how I have no problem throwing restaurants under the bus,
Amen.
name included.
All right.
Big Town Hero.
Oh,
Okay.
here you go.
This is Big Town Hero in downtown Albany, Oregon. Now, there's one in the Heritage Mall, or I'm sorry, the Heritage Ghost Town.
Yeah.
I don't know why that place stays open. I mean, there's nothing in there.
I know, huh?
Except
Empty
for
space.
senior citizens that still think they're teenagers going to People Watch. And that's it.
Right.
That's all.
Speed walkers.
Yes,
They come in there.
Yeah, they come in there. Yeah, they do. So Big Town Hero, Big Town Hero. So it's not reflective of the town, obviously, because this is a small town. So Big goes with Hero. It's a sub shop, right? Sub is short for what? What is sub short for? Submarine. Submarine sandwiches. Subway, right?
Yeah.
Subway sandwiches. Sub is submarine sandwiches.
Did you stay up
Submarines-
all night on this one?
No. No, but I'm 3 weeks on a 4-step on it.
Oh, wow.
Submarines are big.
Right.
Sub sandwiches are big. They're known to be big.
Large and in charge.
Hoagies, large and in charge, right? Well, Big Town Hero, thank you very much, no longer has a foot-long sub. They only have one size. It's 6 inches. That's it. You can't have a sub sandwich. It's 6 inches.
That's because they want you to buy two.
Yeah.
For the price.
Yeah.
For the price.
It's a double thing.
yeah.
It's evil, is what it is. And so, okay, so that's not all, though. There's more.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
It gets better.
It does.
It gets better.
It does. Your mic's a little hot there. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So you go into the submarine sandwich, the Big Town Hero, and order a turkey sub. I'm but we're out of meat.
Holy cow.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I have a cheese sub? I'm sorry, we're out of bread. Then close your doors. If you don't have the main ingredients for what you sell, close the doors.
Now, excuse me. This has happened to you?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Close the doors.
I
Close
have a
the
hard
doors.
time not
Close the
laughing
doors.
out loud. We don't have meat.
We don't have bread.
It's like a bad Monty Python sketch. Right? Do you have any cheese? No, we're deliberately wasting your time.
We have lettuce, and it's wilted.
Well, I guess they had onion bread. Who eats that stuff anyway? I guess some people do. But that's it.
I have occasionally. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
I
a
like it.
submarine sandwich
Right.
shop.
That's horrible.
Jeez. All right.
That's
That's a good
actually.
wine.
I like that.
That's
funny.
legit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
So I wonder why they don't have those things. Is it because of that big ship that's like turned sideways in the
We'd
canal?
like to blame it on that.
But
I don't know.
or is it just because somebody didn't
Bad
order
management.
real well?
Well, in this economy, why do you have staff members there? Why are you open paying people when you can't even sell the product that why don't you close early?
That's too much
right?
overhead killing you.
Wow.
Don't even get me started on Subway.
It's bread. They have bread. And
The
lots-
meatballs
and
are only the
lots of
size
it.
of my pinky now.
Yeah. They have a whole lot of bread.
So I have another wine.
Another one?
Something else I'm powerless over.
All right.
People that give hell the credit for positive accomplishments. Can I get a hell yeah? I've got 3 years sober. No, I will not give hell the credit. I'll give you a heaven yeah.
Right.
Why do I want to give hell the credit? And I've been posting this back. I won't give hell the credit for your sobriety, but I'd love to give heaven the credit. Why are you giving hell the credit?
I've never heard that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Can I
hell
get
yeah?
a hell yeah?
Oh,
Can I get a hell yeah?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never heard somebody say, "Can I get a hell yeah?" in a meeting.
Oh, it's all over Facebook all the time. Can I get a hell yeah? 24 years clean. No.
Hashtag.
Oh, that one sticks in my size. Like, especially
Hashtag.
especially when people that are my age or older are using that. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even know when that came around. Hashtag. Like,
It means nothing to me.
It had to have been a teenager who was like hashtag, and I'm like,
Yeah. It means
I'm a
nothing
grown
to me.
person. I don't know what that means, but
We're playing adult games now.
Why do
Yeah, no
why do you want to
hashtag.
give hell the credit? I don't get it. I guess probably that's just something people say and they don't even realize what they're saying. I don't know. Who knows? But here's my third one. And if anybody's
third
done
wine.
this, I'm not picking on. Yes, I am picking on you. I have never done this. I am sure though that I've done way worse. So this is just a bone of
boy.
contention with me.
I may have done
Why
it.
people who claim to be born again Christians, and I'm one of them, and believe me, I'm not a perfect one by any means, but this is my weekly wine. So, people that claim to be born again Christians that repost memes with profanity in them.
I've been a little guilty of that occasionally, and I try to take out the one word because I appreciate the message, but they added the profanity, and I don't.
Well, I'm kind of being a
understand.
stinker right now.
I am guilty of that as well.
Yes, as of the other day.
Because I still entertain the man from before, oftentimes without
Nicely spoken.
I like the way you said
with,
that.
Very nicely
without
spoken.
without a drink, but
Who needs a drink? Right?
It's still there, huh?
and I still find things like that funny, and I don't know why. And it's probably because there's something I do know why. It's because there's something lacking in my spiritual part of my program, and that's something that I know will be an ongoing thing for the rest of my life. That
Yes.
will always need progress.
Well, and if you conquer it, something else will pop up. That you have to work on, right? Yeah.
But yeah, hey, thanks for that. I appreciate that.
The bus.
Oh man,
Did you guys see that?
It
Oh,
hit-
look, a bus, Anthony.
I know. Well,
it hits home.
I
Hits
don't.
home.
I guess I don't. I really. I'm being a little overly ouchy there. I'm kind of being naughty. But the deal of it is, it's not so much the softer stuff, but when it gets really harsh, which you didn't do, but when it's those heavy duty profane words, and the guy's talking about what a wonderful Bible study he just went to, and the next is a meme that's reposted that says, I can't even say it. I don't want to say it.
Right.
It's giving a direction to do something to somebody, and I'm like, what? No wonder they call us infidels. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. It goes along the same lines of, why do we have people of faith posting pictures of themselves at Bible studies with 5 or 6 bottles of wine sitting on their coffee table with their Bibles opened up, and they all look like they're 3 sheets to the wind? Right. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. But then again, who am I? I'm just a guy that's complaining about stuff that he's powerless over, right?
You're the guy behind the mic.
Okay, so you can send your emails to take12radio@comcast.net. Of course, we got to balance it out,
And
right?
now it's time for the Monty Man's weekly win, because we have to say something positive. Oh, my.
I know. Thank you, Cecil. Okay. I have to tell you,
How did the win come about again?
the win came about because of somebody who, believe it or not, it was suggested by somebody that probably whines more than anybody that I know. a coworker of somebody that I'm very close to. Let's put it that way.
I remember how it came about.
Yeah.
I do.
And she and my wife thought that, if I'm going to whine about something, I gotta balance it out and have something to be thankful for, something to have a win about, right?
Yes.
Like a balanced inventory.
Yeah.
Like a balanced inventory.
It's nice to level. It's nice to level out.
Yeah, but I will say, and I will go ahead and lay under my own bus here. I whine way more than I win. That's one of my character defects that I don't like having taken away, because it's fun to whine.
I think we all struggle with that, because it's
Oh, I'm not struggling. I love it.
It's no struggle.
It's no struggle at all. No, but I think we do.
My precious.
Precious.
We'll keep that. We'll keep that.
So yesterday, of course, was the celebration, the ultimate celebration of life, right?
Absolutely.
Where the Christian faith celebrated the resurrection of the God who is God, Jesus Christ, and his resurrection from the dead, and churches all over the world, were celebrating this. And I have to tell you, Marcia and I went up to Newberg, Oregon, where our son, Colin, our youngest boy, is the worship pastor up there. And he was leading worship, and I mean, it was nothing short than anointed. I mean, it wasn't the biggest service in the world. It wasn't the fanciest. It didn't have the whistles and bells that some churches have when they put on productions, but it moved me in a way that I've never been moved. And it wasn't just because I was proud of Colin.
Right.
It was the way that God worked in that service, and the way he used Colin and his voice. It blew my mind. I had tears rolling down my face through the entire worship service. Like I said, it was more than just father pride in his son. You know what I mean? There was something going on spiritually there. Of course, it was very moving that, the most important event in the history of man we're celebrating there, still in a country that is still free to do that, and that's a privilege in and of itself.
Absolutely.
And so then I was reflecting on our oldest son, who is like the lead custodian guy for the Oregon State Police, is one of the buildings that he works at. And his tender heart, his wife's tender heart towards those who are hurting and who are less fortunate and are dealing with life-controlling issues and things that a lot of people just don't want to spend the time helping or even feeling compassion for. And they're just very compassionate and show the love of Christ on a regular basis to their friends that aren't necessarily living for God, but they're Jesus with skin on anyway, Mm-hmm. And isn't that really the ultimate call of God in our life, to, love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Who's your neighbor? They asked. Well, guess what? It's everyone. And so it was just a day of, I was just beaming all day long. And that's definitely a win. That overrides any whine that a guy could have. It really does.
There you go.
I like to whine because it's fun. Isn't it, Denver?
And it's easy. We
easy to whine
way too much, but giving blessings too, wonderful.
Yeah, but Denver, you've kind of taught me how to whine well.
Well, I should. I got a lot of them in life.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Anthony's going to share his experience, strength, and hope. They said he ought to be dead at 18 years of age, right, Anthony?
Yeah, I was 13 when the doctor
when they
said
told you that. Yeah, and we're going to find.
I think I was around 13.
Yeah. What a heavy load to lay on a 13-year-old. Yeah, you're not going to make it past your 18th birthday. Sorry, buddy. But we're going to be talking about why that happened and what the heck are you doing here now? How old are you now?
I'm 36.
36. Yeah. So something's up. So we'll be back. Don't go away.
This is the place. This is the place.
You're listening to the world's original recovery talk and positive music radio program, the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show on KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Hey, greetings, recovery family. It's me, the Monty Man. Because of the generous folks at Podomatic, Take 12 Recovery Radio is now able to reach literally thousands of people seeking recovery from drug and alcohol addiction. Addiction is the #1 health crisis in our world today, and recovery from active addiction gets the least amount of attention due to stigma. Now, with the help of Podomatic, we are able to break that stigma and focus on the solution that is recovery more effectively than ever before. So, from all of us here at KHLT and the Take 12 Recovery Radio shows, we give a hearty thank you to the staff at Podomatic. To subscribe free to our podcast, visit us at www.take12recoveryradio.podomatic.com. That's take, the number 12, recoveryradio.podomatic.com. Thank you, Podomatic, and God bless you. To join the world's largest directory of independent podcasters, visit www.podomatic.com. Welcome back to the show. You've tuned in to Take 12 Recovery Radio, the great reality. And the great reality is just this, that now we have a host of friends that we cannot compare to others that have lived with the same malady that we have and the same solution. And I'm referring to those of us who are brothers and sisters within our 12-step fellowships and our recovery communities. And one of those people is sitting across from me, Anthony P., who is not only a dear friend, a lifelong friend, but also Marcia and I's godson, and now our newest co-host here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. And it's interesting because the way you and I met was through addiction,
Yeah, it was.
right? I mean, we didn't use together.
Not together.
But you and your stepdad, me and your stepdad, right? He actually came to work for me,
right.
Selling air purification machines. They were really vacuum cleaners.
Best vacuum cleaner in the world.
Yes.
Oh my
The
goodness.
Filter Queen Majestic with the cyclonic action. Now everybody has cyclonic action.
He
But-
sold you.
yeah, well, he was really good at it.
He
though.
was an amazing
He
salesman.
was an amazing salesman. Yeah.
Apparently.
And I was attempting to stay clean and sober, but the stress of the job, I needed to go get a Daniel fix once in a while and get stoned. And I wasn't a pothead. But for some reason, when I was around him, not you, but
right. I get
Daniel, it was like, oh, if I must, right? It was just weird. But Daniel and I became very, very close.
Right.
And, we did. Even in our dysfunction, we became very, very close friends. And he passed away due to complications because of abuse and also his diabetes and some other things. But Anthony was just a little tyke. I don't know how old you were when
I was about, I think, 7 or 8, maybe 9.
Yeah.
10 at the latest.
Right.
When you first laid eyes on this handsome, gorgeous man.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Yeah.
Before you appeared.
And every holiday season, I'd go out to their ranch house out in Millersburg and paint their windows with pumpkins and
Yeah.
Festive things.
That was awesome.
and do that kind of stuff. And the last time I ever used, I was sitting on their porch. I didn't use out there, but I ended up there, just paranoid out of my ever-loving mind. And when you're that freaked out and you think everybody and everything, including the angels in heaven, are following you, which I thought, right? They were all driving white cars and they were following me. You know, and if you drop a giant jar of spiders, it'll freak you out. And I did that on their porch because his brother was collecting these spiders.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Oh, true story.
Right? And then the light went out on the porch right after I dropped the spiders. Yeah, it was one of those wonderful stories.
So one of my biggest fears, I have two huge fears: heights
And spiders?
and spiders. And so my brothers think, because we're brothers, right?
Yeah.
I beat on him. He found other ways to get back at me.
He
'cause
collected spiders.
He was short and fat, and I was skinny and faster than him, and he would collect these spiders for days in this jar. And even if they're dead, I don't like them. You know,
They're just creepy,
right?
man.
They have no reason to live, in my opinion. And he would collect them in a jar. And then when he had enough of me, you know, being the big brother, then he'd wait until I was in the shower or something, and then go whoop.
Oh,
That is so wrong.
oh, I know.
So yeah,
That is so wrong.
Yeah.
I do remember that day.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast, but I remember things.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. But anyway, this isn't my story. This is your story.
Right.
So you're bopping along life, and I remember very well. You didn't walk quite as straight as you do today.
No.
There were some complications going on. So what was going on, bud?
First off, thank you for
Yeah.
the invitation to be on your show.
Absolutely.
This is what a blessing it is to be here.
Oh, bless
first
your
off,
heart.
and none of this would be possible without my higher power, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
and the gift that He has given me through the programs. You know, my sobriety.
Sure.
Today, and that's what I have is today. Anyway, so as a kid, my parents split, and my mom either was involved with the man Daniel that we speak of before they split, and or just chose to run away with him. And as she did, she took us kids with him and moved us out into the middle of Bum, you know.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And I at the age of about 13-ish, because I started having problems walking, and my dexterity was getting off. I couldn't do my own signature. I was shaking so bad. At the house, everybody had glasses, and I had a plastic cup, you know, because
you tend to drop them.
I couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah.
And so after, I don't know, 6 or 7, you know, specialist visits and stuff, I go in, and a neurologist looks at me, and he goes, I've got some news, you know, you have essential tremors. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I was like, essential tremors. What's essential about my tremors? You know, I don't need them, you know. And so, you know, I took the word literally.
Yeah.
And anyway, so he said, but usually this isn't a condition that happens early in life. It's usually later, like in your 80s. And he goes, and you have maybe 10 years after that to live when you've been diagnosed. And I go,
wow.
And he goes, so you'll be lucky if you make it to your 18th birthday. Now, before that, so there's the saying, the family that prays together stays together. My family was the family that choked together. So
There was a cloud.
right. And I'm not saying that to badmouth my family, because I love them, all of them. So at that point, when I heard, okay, so I'm 13, 18, I got 5 years left. All right, well then I'm going to do everything that's fun that people said would kill me, because I've only got so long left anyways. So I did, and became very heavily addicted.
Labeled fun.
Well,
mind you.
yeah, there we go. Thank you. And 18 came and went. Almost lost the complete ability to walk. 19 came and went. 20. I'm in my mid-20s, and ended up getting life flighted to OHSU because I had collapsed and they had found me, and I had my first they call it a brain surgery, but they just drilled a hole in my head and drained some fluid. So, and then there's a whole slew of surgeries after that. But before that, didn't I show up to your house high?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm just looking for, and I was probably just looking for a couple of bucks every time, but
Usually.
and I remember you took me to a meeting. I'm not sure if it was an AA meeting or not, but you took me to a meeting, and I felt so uncomfortable because I was stoned out of my. I had been up for about 5 days, and so I knew that if I went over to Monty's and I was obviously like, coked out of my mind, he was going to be like, "You need some sleep," and and I knew he would. I didn't know if he would take me to a treatment facility, but I didn't want that. I wasn't done yet, and so I knew if I smoked some weed, then I would be at least able to sit still.
Yeah.
For a while. So I go in there and to this meeting, and I'm stoned out of my mind, and these old men are talking, and they're not talking to each other, they're talking at me, and I'm told to sit down and shut up, and that I have nothing that they're looking for. I'm like, so this is what it's like.
So much love.
I'm like, I don't want this, and so
So much love.
and it's. I mean, I'm not sure I would have wanted it if it would have been, oh, we love you, but I wasn't ready yet.
It wasn't the most loving
Oh, I've been
group
to a
of
couple.
people within that particular fellowship that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Still to this day. But, there's a wide variety of meetings, right?
Still to this day.
I remember what one of the men in that room said to me that day. He goes, "You're not ready." He goes, "But we'll be here when you are.
Wow.
If you ever get to that point before you die." And that stuck with me, And so, I don't know. Where did I leave off? Went down a rabbit hole.
So you went to the meeting, you just...
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I went to the meeting, and I left, and I believe I asked you if you would help me, and you're like, "Yep, I'll walk you through the program," kind of like a sponsorship type deal, and,
right?
And you're like, "Okay, come back tomorrow," and I thought tomorrow meant like 4 or 5 years later, apparently, because Anthony fell off the face of the friggin' planet there for a minute, and went up to Portland and got in some trouble up there again, and then bounced back and forth between the shelters here in Albany and a couple in Corvallis and Salem, and I always felt like a victim, but I wasn't aware that I was the perpetrator, and not so much on everybody else, because I did care about people.
Yeah.
I did hurt people. I'm not saying I didn't, but the person that I was victimizing the most was myself.
Yeah.
Because I was lying to myself. Anyway, so fast forward a little bit, and I collapsed in the middle of the road, I believe in Corvallis, because I was staying at the shelter over there, community outreach.
The one behind Napa Auto Parts and that?
Yeah, over by the Foster Farms
over
corn
that
dog
bridge and
corn dog factory.
Yeah.
I'll never eat a corn dog again from there. But, so that's not true. I did this the other day. But anyway, so
see how we are.
Yeah, I caught myself. So I ended up being taken to the hospital, and it was the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor she goes, "I'm just gonna run some tests on you because I think I know what's wrong with you." And next thing you know, I'm waking up at OHSU, and they're telling me, "All right, you need to have brain surgery right now." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, we don't have time to explain." And I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
And so that was my first surgery, and after that, I was able to walk again. The pressure on my head had been relieved. They drained the fluid off my brain, and so I went back to what I knew, which was getting what I can get from you
Yeah.
with giving as little as I have to get it. And I don't even know how long after I ended up needing another surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Same neurosurgeon, some of the same neuro team.
Because the fluid had built back up again?
Yeah. Well, apparently I was supposed to go back for a 6-month follow-up.
Yeah.
And I just heard you're better now. And
Right.
so I went back to what I was doing. And so I wake up again in a recovery room from brain surgery. This time they put a catheter into my brain that drains the fluid off and wiggles and tickles and jiggles inside my tummy until it goes to wherever it goes to drain.
Right.
And I will never forget what the doctor said to me. And he goes, "This is twice now you've escaped death." And this is a man, mind you, that does not believe in God.
Right.
He goes, "I would not tempt God a third time."
Wow.
He goes, "You need to decide whether or not you want to live or die."
That's a man you want to listen to,
And,
right?
and he goes, "Because as of this surgery, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of surgery that have been done on you." He goes, "And that's not even counting the time of all of the doctors and, nurses and stuff." And he goes, "So you have a decision to make." He goes, "Because the next time you wind up in my operating room, and with your condition, there will be a next time." He goes, "You're not done." He goes, "I will have you tested. And if you test positive for any illegal substances, then I will have you shipped to another hospital because I have the right to refuse service."
Wow.
And he goes, "And the likelihood of you making it to another facility alive, if you end up on my operating table," he goes, "then you're just spinning the wheel of luck."
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll go on the marijuana maintenance program." And
Did you tell him that?
no, of course
Oh,
not.
okay.
Of course not. I was like, yeah, you
Well,
know.
I don't know. I mean, in today's world,
Right,
there's a lot of
right.
doctors co-signing that baloney.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
So I dabbled a little bit with some cocaine after that, but alcohol was always a part of my story because I'm a chicken, if I'm gonna do anything beyond smoking a little bit of weed, I need some campfire fuel to give me the courage to do that. But once
Right.
once that liquor's in me, then I'm like,
And that's many of our stories. We got to get the booze in
yeah,
to get us lubricated enough
Yeah.
or to
Game's
drop our
on.
values enough
right.
to do the next wrong thing.
And so I did the maintenance program for a while and ended up having another surgery. And this time he's like, "All right, into treatment." So I went into treatment, and I think the last time I completed treatment on that's when I count my sobriety date. I didn't drink before then, but I didn't count that because somebody that came into the treatment facility told me, he goes, "You can't count your time in a treatment facility if you don't have access to alcohol and drugs," which we did if we wanted to, but he goes, "You count it from the day you graduate and you leave." So the day I left treatment and have not had a drink since, in 28 days will be 10 years ago.
Wow.
So, a lot of things have happened since then.
Yeah.
I've had a brain surgery that was not done by the same doctor, and they just went in. They kind of just they opened up my head and closed me up, and then I went back for the follow up this time.
What are they doing? Just checking things out? Or?
Well, no, my body was failing again, like before, and
This is in your sobriety?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was a new neurosurgeon, and he calls me in for my checkup, and he scolds me, and he's like, "We did a useless surgery on you. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars, down the tubes for nothing." And he goes, I have a good mind to send you back to your original neurosurgeon. And I'm like, it's not like I'm like, hey, give me a brain surgery.
Right.
You know, I'm like, and I don't want a new person playing with my brain every time I need a surgery. I'd rather, and so I went back home.
Yeah.
And then before my follow-up with, you know, my original neurosurgeon, taken back up there. And there was a part that was clogged in my shunt and could have killed me.
Wow.
So, you know,
at no fault of your own.
No.
Yeah.
It's just like any other piece of equipment, you know.
Right.
It needs maintenance and overhauled every now and then. And so, I think I'm going on almost 2.5 years since the surgery. And so.
Now, at what point you gained an enormous amount of weight, right?
Oh yeah. I was pushing 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that part of your condition that caused it, or did you just start pigging out?
I was taking. Okay, so I couldn't walk after that. So I had my gallbladder out,
right,
and then I had that surgery that was a mess up, and then a follow-up surgery after that to fix the mess up. And apparently, your body's not meant to have anesthesia in it at all in the first place. Our bodies were never built for that,
right?
But it's definitely not meant to have that much in that short a time. And so my body just kind of went like zzz, and geeked out and like forgot everything.
Wow.
And so I think I was not able to walk without a walker for almost 8 months.
My goodness.
And so, but I did find comfort in food. And so I just kind of sat and ate and felt sorry for myself because, you know.
So you're not getting any exercise,
Right,
and you're
right.
just eating like crazy.
And yeah, that's why I got fat. Thanks for bringing that up, by the way. Great time.
Well, you look great though.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
you
look-
lost. I
you
mean,
look great in flannel.
No.
how did you lose it though? You started doing stuff, right?
So I went to. I was on a medication that I should have never been on that actually helped me plump up. So I went and saw, I got a second opinion, and that doctor said, no, you need to stop taking that medication. I stopped taking that medication, started feeling a little bit better. I have amazing doctors and physical therapists and stuff that have set it up to where I have a gym membership at low cost to me, and I have amazing insurance. And so I started going to the gym at least 3-4 times a week.
Right.
I made it a point to where I wasn't eating to get full. I was eating to, okay, I've got enough to sustain me.
Gotcha.
Portion control is a big deal for me, and movement, actually getting out and moving. And part of that was because I have the brain surgeries and everything, I qualify for Special Olympics. And so I started bowling and golfing. And I like to bowl a little bit. Well, I love to golf. Golf is my favorite. But I did golf later. And so bowling required less walking. And that's the part that I liked because, before.
Because golf, there's a lot of walking.
Right. It's a lot of walking.
Yeah.
And so
Get a cart.
yeah, those are expensive.
Yeah, but see, people like me and him, then we'd never walk.
Right. Exactly.
You got to get out of the cart.
So and then let's see. So then they brought in powerlifting as a sport in my area, and I was like, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder. Because in Anthony's head, Anthony can't do anything. Anthony's already defeated.
Yeah.
He's self-defeated a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I had that, I wonder if I could do that. And so I started going to the gym regularly. I met with the trainer. I paid for individual training sessions with the trainer, went to my lifting practices, and, and before I knew it, I was slimming down. And I was toning up, and I was like, I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
It's working now.
It's working. And and I know, shouldn't be my motivation, but I was noticing that I was being noticed.
It's hard not to though,
because
right?
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
And when a girl goes like this, and then you go like this, and she's like, no, and I'm like, so what?
So
Oh,
if you're not watching on YouTube, he's doing the up and down thing with the eyes, right? Checking you out from top to bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forget that there's people that
No,
can't
that's
see me.
okay. Yeah.
So yeah, and so that was a motivation at first,
Right.
as I was getting attention that I wasn't getting before.
Yeah.
And then I found a lift in the competitions that I'm good at, and I enjoy it, and it's the deadlift. I did all 3 lifts, the bench press, the back squat, and the deadlift, but the deadlift is my favorite because I went from doing about 110 pounds to my max that I maxed out at before COVID shut competition down was 300.
Wow.
And to pick 300 pounds up off the ground and watch the reactions of people around you that are like, what?
Yeah.
That made me feel like, okay, this is it. And and then COVID hit and they shut it down right before my competition. So
Oh man.
so I got depressed and went back to eating and stuff. But now I'm working on getting back to where I was and getting back in the gym. And the part that I need to always remember that no matter what happens, whether it's a death of a loved one, another brain surgery, having to learn how to walk, talk, and feed myself again, nothing. None of that's going to get solved or fixed by taking a drink or using a substance to try and, forget. Because after that substance leaves my body,
right,
all my problems are there, plus whatever problems I created
sure
while I was under the influence.
Yeah.
And, and I'd like to say I was never the guy who created any problems when he was using, but I stole, I robbed, I mean.
So you actually became, at least locally, a bit of a celebrity. I don't want, the doorways aren't big enough for my head to get through around here.
Okay.
But I'm going to brag on you for a minute. So Samaritan Health Services has a magazine called Heart to Heart. And if you're watching on YouTube here, you can see there's his mug right there. He's got a chicken in there. And anyway, this is Anthony's story in here. They did a really good write-up on you.
Yeah.
Lebanon resident sets life goals and perseveres. And boy, if there's one word in there, and that's perseveres, because you have persevered through what a lot of people would have just said, heck with it. Heck with this. I'm just going to keep using. I'm going to keep drinking. What the heck? And you push forward. They even erected a billboard. Well, it's on the coast, right?
Yeah, it's out at Newport as you're going. As you're about to cross the bridge. It's right before the Dutch Bros.
Yeah, and it's probably because with egos like most alcoholics, it's probably a good thing your billboard is not in the town you live in.
Right.
So you don't have to look at it every day and go,
That's me.
But you know what, though? All kidding aside, what an honor, to literally be the poster child for such a success story, brother. I'm so stinking proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And I mean, it says a lot for your character. And you take most addicts and alcoholics and you remove the substances and you get some basic life skills put back in the person, and then as they develop a relationship with their creator, you have some of the most talented, loving, gifted people of integrity, really, in the world. But it's been clouded over by all this junk. Right. Yeah. So let me ask you, with the article, with the billboard, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, have you run into some naysayers? Have there been some people that have criticized you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I'm not going to mention any names.
No, of course not.
There are people who I, in my addiction, have hurt. and that'll be an amends. That'll be a
Sure.
a later on when God presents the time that's appropriate for me to
Right.
do so. I will make that amends. It seems like my past from Albany has followed me to where I live in Lebanon, which is interesting. Anyways, that know me from before, and but that man is dead. That man is dead and gone.
Yeah, you didn't improve the old man.
No,
you got to build a brand new one.
I'm a new creation,
right.
and so I all right. So I used to when I walked before I had my surgeries and everything. I walked and I kind of looked. I was very skinny and I looked like an orange on a toothpick almost. And
You look like somebody that was living with cerebral palsy.
Right. And
Right.
I had a group of people. They called themselves my friends. They weren't my friends. They were acquaintances.
Sure.
But I didn't have any real friends, so I got the nickname Bobblehead. And it was just I don't know, a couple years back, and I'm living in Lebanon there, and somebody runs into me that knew me from before, and they call me Bobblehead. And I ignore them. And he goes, "Well, that's mean. You're not even going to say hi." And I turn around and I go, "My name's Anthony. Nice to meet you." And he shakes my hand. And he goes, "Bobblehead." And I'm like, "No, my name's Anthony. I don't know who you speak of. It's Bobblehead." And I shake his. Oh, it was in the park. It was at a recovery event in the park here in Monteith.
Oh, okay.
And because
a lot of active addicts and alcoholics show up at that.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I did. You know, when I was using and stuff, that was, because
Sure.
you can camp down by the river and
They had food.
yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
So, and he was like, "Oh," and so I get that reaction sometimes. "Oh, really?" And for me, that's an opportunity. If they are like, "Okay, so how'd you do it?" That's an opportunity for me to share how a little bit of my experience, strength, and hope. And I get two results when I tell them, "Hey, I don't use anymore. I don't drink anymore." It's either how or oh. And they
Right.
like, "I don't want nothing to do with you then."
Yeah.
And I used to be that person though. If you
Sure.
don't have what I want,
Right.
then I have nothing for
Then
you.
be gone.
Right. Then kick rocks.
Yeah.
And but
Is this part of the reason why you stopped being referred to as Tony, and you wanted to be referred to as Anthony?
I for a while there I was like, "Don't call me Tony. Don't call me Tony."
I remember that.
Now I don't care. You can call me Anthony, call me Tony. It doesn't really matter. The Tony thing was more because nobody that knew me while I was using knew my real name. I don't know what it is about being homeless or being a drug addict that you it's like you always take on this new persona. Or at least for me, I'll speak for myself. That I did because I didn't like who I was, so I tried to create something else. And but no, the Tony part, I just as a kid, and I've worked through some of this as a kid. It was always Tony, getting yelled at, and Tony kept me that little boy. My name, my legal name is Anthony.
Right.
And but Tony's fine, Anthony's are Tony's, right? And Tony's are Anthony's. And so for the longest time I struggled with that. But lately, just in like the last year or so, I'm like, yeah,
it's no big deal.
I'm Tony, whatever.
Yeah, but
just don't call me late for a meal. If you're eating, I want to be there.
Yeah, I hear you. So but I got to say though, because I knew you as Tony for most, before you got well.
Yeah, right.
And you told me that, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me of many of the name changes in the Bible.
Right. Okay.
Right? You have a new identity now. And Anthony is much more mature.
Right.
It sounds really good on you.
Ah.
Really, it does. I love it. I think it's a great way because we all have an identity and that kind of thing. But it is also good, though, now that it isn't one of those things that is going to cause you a resentment if somebody calls you Tony. Yeah, so...
No, I don't even get a resentment now because there are people that I still run into from my past who
Right.
still insist on calling me bobblehead. I don't even get a resentment about that because they don't.
It is what it is.
They don't know.
Right?
They don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll explain it to them, and then if they continue, then I just turn and walk away and say, have a nice day.
So we're almost out of time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. We're gonna be having you on a lot. So now that you're one of our co-hosts, but you have a 12-step fellowship that you belong to.
Yep.
You have a sponsor.
Yep.
You've learned how to apply and implement the 12-step process, or what Bill Wilson, before New York got a hold of it, called the directions.
Yeah.
Didn't even call them the steps.
Right.
And you've done that. You do that. I'm sure you don't do it perfectly like Denver and I do.
Oh, of course not.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
we do it so perfectly.
I don't have a billboard.
But I mean, it has been a journey for you. What is your? I'm gonna copy what one of our other broadcasters that we now have on Take 12 Recovery Radio is Dr. Rob Kelly, the addiction doctor, and one of the things he asks of his guests on his show is, what was your worst day and what is your best day? So I'm going to ask you, what was your worst day?
My worst day. There's a lot of bad ones. I wish this would have been the time I woke up and decided to quit, but I was on. I always knew that if I went back to my mom's house, that I at least could get fed and have a place to sleep. And I remember going back, and I was in and out of consciousness, coming down, and I remember it was either my little brother or my little sister, and I heard them say, "Is he dead?"
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't bring myself to like even roll over and say I'm alive. But like it broke my heart.
Wow.
And you know both of them.
Yeah.
And so, it's just like a kick in the gut, and I'm like, okay, something's got to change. And so that's when there was a little bit in there, of like, okay, I have to do something different.
Yeah.
And then my best day, there's and it's not a sobriety birthday or anything like that, really. There's at my old home group that has since dissolved. One of my first meetings that I went to in that room, I walked in and I hadn't bathed in days. I was gross, and there's this little old lady there, and she goes, "Oh, we've been waiting for you." And I'm like, "What? You don't know? I've never met you in my life, lady.
Wow.
Are you crazy?" And she goes, "Your seat's right here." And she sat me right next to her. And she held my hand during that first meeting. And then she gave me a hug after that meeting. And I don't know what it was about that, but I wanted more of that. And so I went back. Yeah. And for a long time, it seemed like a long time, maybe it was only just a couple of months, that lady would do the same things. And I would always try and get a seat next to her. And she didn't spout, everything out of the book or nothing. She just loved. She loved me because I didn't know how to love myself. I was stinky. I was, smelled like cigarettes and BO. And
yeah. Wow.
She just, that right there.
That's a good day, man.
That stuck. That's nice.
And she's since passed, but if there's an extra credit in heaven for doing something good, she got like 5 stars that day.
What a great memory to have. That's awesome.
Heck yeah. Powerful.
Denver, you got any questions for this young man?
No, I got no questions. You have an amazing story.
Thank you.
You really do.
It's not mine. It's God's story.
Yeah. Amen.
He just loaned it to me.
You're a miracle, but you're doing the work yourself
Thank
too.
you. Thank you.
So wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was good to hear that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to many shows with you. It's going to be good. So next week, before I introduce our closing song, next week, wave, Denver, wave, bye.
See ya.
Next week, the topic is going to be out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What is coming out of your mouth? It's something to think about.
It's a sharp tongue sometimes.
Yeah. So we're going to be looking at some recovery literature about that, and maybe some other things, and maybe we'll tell on ourselves a little bit too. We do like to have fun with the weekly wine. It's part of not taking, yourself or life, too seriously, that you can't whine about something in jest. Right. I will go back to Big Town Hero, because their bread is really, really good.
Yeah.
When they have bread.
They have it.
Yeah, when they have it.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't forget the meat.
Don't forget the meat. Anthony, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and welcome aboard.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to contributing and the back and forth. This has been awesome.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right. We have had many co-hosts on this show. I was looking on, if you go to take12radio.com and at the very top you click on the link that says partners, there's a list there. It's quite lengthy of the people that have contributed over the last 16 years to Take 12 Recovery Radio. It also has a list of all of our former co-hosts and current co-hosts. There has been a lot of people. It takes a lot of people to do something like this. I had somebody the other day say, man, I can't believe it. You're just one guy and you do this whole thing. And no. You don't do this just one guy. And you certainly don't do it without a power greater than yourself. I'll tell you that. Hillary Roberts, who is a recovery recording artist, has our closing song. It's entitled Reach Out. And let me tell you about this song. It's about that. It's about what Anthony's doing now, what Denver does, what we do here at Take 12 Recovery Radio, and what thousands of people do in the wonderful fellowships that are surrounded around the 12 principles, the 12 steps, in reaching out to people that really, they just need to know that somebody gives a rip. Right, Anthony? They don't need to be lectured. They don't need to be beat over the head. They just need to have somebody maybe in their life say, we've been waiting for you. Right. Have a seat. So here's Hillary Roberts with her song, Reach Out.
She wakes up every morning, going through the same routine, coffee and her nicotine. In her eyes there's a story, a broken home that she's been through, left alone for someone new. And she's in need of a hand that won't let go, a love that she can see. And you can be the beginning of a change. All she wants is to believe. Reach out, show her there's a lot of love to go around. Yeah, yeah. Reach out, you can make a difference here and now. Oh, if you just reach out. He stands up in the mirror, going out to hit the scene, grabs his coat and takes his keys. In his heart there's a fear, he won't deny the drink again. Bottles got a hold of him. He's in need of a hand that won't let go, a love that see. You can be the beginning of a change. All he wants is to believe. Reach out, show him there's a lot of love to go around. Yeah, yeah. Reach out, you can make a difference here and now. Oh, oh, if you just reach out. 'Cause they're in need of a hand that won't let go, a love that they can see. And we can be the beginning of a change. All they want is to believe. Reach out, show them there's a lot of love to go around. Yeah, yeah. Oh, reach out, you can make a difference here and now. Here and now. Oh, reach out. Oh, you know you got to reach. Show them there's a lot of love to go around. You know. Reach out. We can make a difference here and now. Oh, if you just reach
Hillary Roberts and her song Reach Out. The recovery recording artist Hillary Roberts can be found at her website, hillaryroberts.com. Hey, a very special welcome to our good friend, my godson, and brand new co-host, Anthony P., as he joins the Take 12 Recovery radio family here at KHLT Recovery Broadcasting and Take12Radio.com on your internet dial. Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man, along with all of us here at Take 12 Recovery Radio, and we are wishing God's perfect serenity for you.
Come on in. Come on in.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
This is the place